Hello everyone, welcome to our topic self-awareness and regulation. This module is an introduction to personal leadership and competence. It also discusses self-awareness and self-regulation as foundations for leadership realization. It was also designed for students who are exploring the values of personal leadership and competence and how they should equip themselves to meet the demands and requirements for success. So our objectives is to explain the importance of self-awareness and regulation and discuss how their practice helps demonstrate capacity for leadership. Analyze situations in which self-awareness and regulation play a significant role in leadership. Resolve to practice self-awareness and self-regulation in order to further develop leadership capacity. In the modern workplace, technical skills now take second place to an employee's ability to learn on the job. So, sa mga naghahanap ng trabaho sa panahon ngayon, hindi pangunahing requirement yung technical skills sa hiring process. Mas binibigyan importansya yung mga may edge sa communication skills, adaptability, creativity, responsiveness, personal management, motivation, contributorship, social skills, and leadership potentials. Dahil yung technical skills, madaling matutunan yan. It will just develop along the learning process sa company, pero yung adaptability, creativity, and social skills dapat nakadikit na sa karakter mo para madali kang makahanap ng trabaho. Kaya merong kasabihan, aanin mo yung skills mo, yung talent mo kung masama naman ang yung ugali. Foundations of management skills. What is self-awareness? So awareness is about having or showing a realization, perception, or knowledge of a concept, situation, circumstance, or a person. So ano nga ba ang awareness? Try natin hatiin sa dalawang words, aware at saka ness. Pag sinabi mong aware, yung alam mo lang or may alam ka lang, di ba? Conscious ka kasi sa mga nangyayari. So try natin dagdagan ng word na ness. Nung dinagdagan natin ng ness, nag-iba na yung meaning. Pag sinabing awareness, ito yung state na aware ka. Meaning, palagi mong alam or nasa karakter mo na talagang pagiging aware. Ito rin yung nag-observe ka kung anong nangyayari sa iyong sarili. We are all born aware. Pinanganak tayong aware. Habang lumalaki tayo, nagde-develop yung sense of awareness natin. Lumalalim yung pag-observe natin sa ating sarili at ating paligid. What we learn, what we say, what we feel, what we think, at saka what we do. Nagiging malaki ang tulong ng environment at saka pagpapalaki sa atin sa magiging resulta kung ano man tayo ngayon. So may kasabihan we are what we are because we have been what we have been. Kaya kung ano ka ngayon, magpasalamat ka kung saan ka man nanggaling at kung sino mga nagpalaki sa'yo. Pag sinabi mo namang self-awareness, ito yung alam mo kung ano yung role mo dito sa mundo. O kung di nyo pa alam, pupunta ngayon sa salamin at saka tanungin nyo sa sarili nyo. Bakit kaya ako pinanganak? Ano ba ang silbi ko sa mundong ito? It's very important na self-aware ka. Pag alam mo ito, magle-level up ka. Magbabago yung paningin mo sa mundo. Mag-iiba din kung paano ka mag-collaborate, mag-communicate sa ibang tao. Pag sinabing self-awareness, alam mo mag-manage yung emotion mo, yung anger mo, yung pag-iisip mo. I'm not only talking about your strengths but also yung weaknesses mo. Dapat aware ka rin. If you're self-aware, you can reach your highest potentials as a human being. Self-awareness question. So, tingnan natin kung makakasagot kayo. Number 1, do you listen to others during a conversation? Or do you tend to do a lot of talking? Nakikinig ka ba kung may nagsasalita? Or nagsasalita ka din habang may nagsasalitang iba? Do you ask others how they feel about situations? Or do you make assumptions based on your own feelings? Tinatanong mo ba sa iba kung anong opinion o nararamdaman nila? Or nag-a-assume ka at saka mahilig kang mag-judge? Yan. So, the art of listening. Do you think about how your actions affect others? Or are you confident that others are fine with how you handle your situations? Iniisip mo ba kung nasasaktan sila sa mga decisions or sinasabi mo? O di kaya ina-assume mo na okay lang sila sa mga ginagawa mo? Number 4, are you aware of other people's social cues? Or do you mostly focus on your own? Pag sinabing social cues, ito yung body language or expression ng iba. So aware ka ba o di kaya busy ka sa sarili mong expressions? 5. Can you admit when you are wrong and have apologized when you are? Or do you tend to think that things are wrong or go bad because of others? Or do you tend to think that things are wrong or go bad because of others? Ina-admit mo ba na may kasalanan ka o alam mo ba na nagkamali ka? O di kaya tinuturo mo sa iba yung kasalanan? Blame game nga kay kanila. O Nasagot nyo ba? Kung sa palagay nyo tama lahat ng letter B, time na magpatingin sa guidance counselor or sa mga eksperto. The developmental theory has the assumption that a child thinking changes at a precise onset of particular developmental stages. It focuses in the process of assimilation and accommodation. Sinasabi ng developmental theory na yung awareness natin ay nag-iiba based sa kung paano tayo nag-develop. Yung assimilation, nangyayari ito when we modify or change new information to fit on what we already know. Kumbaga, dinadagdag natin ang impormasyon na nalalaman natin habang tinatabi ang mga na-experience na. Yung accommodation naman is when we restructure or modify what we already know para sa bagong mga information. Developmental theory states that growing up influences a child's capacity to understand the world. Children cannot do particular tasks until they are psychologically mature enough to do so. So this statement is inaccurate. Sinasabi ng developmental theory na ang mga bata daw hindi kaya gumawa ng isang task hanggang maging mature sila para gawin ito. This statement is inaccurate dahil nga depende sa pagpalaki or development ng isang bata ang kanyang mga desisyon sa buhay. Cognitive development naman offered a combination of empirical evidence from Piaget's theory and aspects of psychometrics and cognitive theory. There are 3 levels of organization: core, process, mental operations, knowledge, and beliefs. Yung cognitive development naman, dinidescribe nito yung development based sa pagkakaiba-iba ng tao kung saan man or paano sila pinalaki. It aimed to describe and explain intellectual development, individual differences in the rate and direction of intellectual development, and cognitive mechanism underlying development and the actual differences that occur between changes. This is a more accurate application kaysa sa developmental theory. So there are 5 areas of self-awareness: personality, values, habits, needs, and emotions. Si Abraham Maslow, gumawa siya ng hierarchy which identifies the 5 level of need. Pinapakita dito sa chart ang needs ng tao. So, pinakailalim, pinaka-basic needs natin, yung physiological. So that includes breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, and excretion. Yung second level naman is the safety. It includes security of body, employment, resources, morality, family health, and property. So sa love and belonging, it includes family, friendship, and sexual intimacy. Fourth is self-esteem, which includes the self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, and respect by others. Last is yung self-actualization. It includes morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, acceptance of facts. So understanding the areas of self-awareness help us gain insight on the various aspects of our lives, including the competency areas that influence our holistic personal development. Being competitive as an edge kahit saan sa pag-aaral, paghahanap ng work at kung saan man. Kahit nga sa panliligaw, dapat competitive ka. Pero for me, ang pinakamagandang competency is with yourself. Dapat higitan mo ang sarili mo kahapon sa kung ano ka man ngayon. Competency areas that benefit from practicing self-awareness. Ito yung mga skills, development, performance, intuitive decision-making, stress management, motivation, at saka leadership. So developing a healthy self-awareness is critical to developing other skills considered to be critical competencies for leaders. So the Johari window. Practicing self-awareness requires reflection. One tool determined to illustrate the process accurately is the Johari window. Designed with 4 quadrants, the model assigns specific selves or personas to each quadrant. One way to develop your self-awareness is through reflection. At isang Johari window sa mga tools na ginagamit para malaman mo kung aware ka ba or aware sila sa mga actions na pinapakita mo. So in quadrant 1, this is your public self. Dito mo malalaman kung ano nakikita mo sa sarili mo na sa tingin mo nakikita din ng iba sa'yo. Yung second quadrant, ito naman yung nakikita ko sa sarili ko na hindi mo makita or hindi nakikita ng public or tinatawag nating private self. Yung quadrant 3 is the blind self. Ito naman yung hindi ko makita sa sarili ko pero nakikita ng ibang tao. The fourth quadrant naman is undiscovered self. Ito naman yung hindi ko makita sa sarili ko na hindi mo din makita or hindi makita ng public. So, quadrant, the personal attributes that are readily seen or observed by the person and others in himself or herself. The second quadrant, this is the attributes that a person knows about him or herself but it's not known to others. The third quadrant, these are the attributes that a person does not know about him or herself but is known by others. In the fourth quadrant are the attributes that both a person and others do not yet know of the person and which are left for future discovery. So as a friendly tool, the identity quadrants define aspects of our personality based on how our personal attributes, strengths, and weaknesses are disclosed, made known, or perceived by others. Objectively filled out, it is expected to provide a person with a holistic understanding of himself. So self-regulation. What is self-regulation? It is a stage where awareness of certain behavior leads to self-policing actions or the capacity to alter behavior. It also determines how we can choose to respond and the way we do respond to particular situations, circumstances, events, and people. When you say self-regulation, alam mo kung paano i-control yung sarili mo. Based on your observation sa sarili mo, ano kaya ang dapat i-change? It is the capacity to alter your behavior. Gusto mo magsabi ng masama, pero kinontrol. Social learning theory by Albert Bandura focuses on learning that occurs with the social context. It suggests that the environment has an effect on modeling where individuals identify an ideal and patterns their behavior after them. Modeling becomes successful if there is attention, retention, motor reproduction, and motivation. Sinasabi din ng social learning theory that people learn from one another such concepts as observation, imitation, and even modeling. Social learning is considered the bridge between cognitive and behaviorist theories. There are two ways of observation. One is observation by experience. Yan yung mga nangyayari sa'yo. At saka observation through others. Ito naman yung nakikita mo or na-experience ng iba. Saka doon ka nag-base ng learning mo. Kahit saan yung the important thing is dapat every time may experience ka, you learn something from it. Self-determination theory naman by Edward D.C. and Richard Ryan. So it assumes that people have psychological needs that are basis for self-motivation and personality integration. So cites three needs which allows optimal function and growth if they are satisfied. So one is competence, relatedness, and autonomy. Pag sinabi namang self-determination, dapat alam mo kung paano at anong gusto mong gawin sa buhay mo o sa mga decisions mo. Determinado ka rin gawin ang mga bagay-bagay para sa ikauunlad ng iyong sarili o para sa gusto mong makamit sa iyong buhay. Kaya si Ryan stated that self-determination is to endorse one action at the highest level of reflection. When we are self-determined, we experience a sense of freedom to do what is interesting, personally important, and vitalizing. There are different phases of self-regulation. First is the forethought or pre-action or setting standards and goals. So this sets the stage for action in map task. Second is performance control. It involves processes and utilization of strategies to reach success. The third is self-reflection. Reflections are performance. Outcomes are compared to goals set in the forethought phase. Different aspects of self-regulation. First is setting standard and goals. Second is self-observation, systematic monitoring of own performance, self-judging, systematic comparison of actual performance set against goals, and self-reaction, personal process of evaluation that takes place during the activity. There's a lot of methods para ma-regulate yung self natin. First is identifying behavior patterns. Dapat alamin nyo ang inyong behavioral patterns. Alamin nyo kung anong nagpapasaya, anong nagpapalungkot, anong nagpapagalit sa inyo. Second is creating positive reinforcement with the use of small, possibly periodic, and reasonable rewards. Second is rewarding yourself sa mga maliliit na achievements na nakakamit mo. This is also to motivate yourself to do more. Third is consciously observing the frequent or intensity of particular behavior. Observe mo kung ano kadalas ka nagagalit, masiyahin o nalulungkot. Fourth is correction in the event that wrong behavior is demonstrated. Dapat natin alam kung kailan tayo nagkamali at is very important na i-correct kung ano man yung mga maling nagawa. In this case, we know that we learn from what happened at para may iwasan ang mga ito sa mga hinaharap. Fifth is challenging ourselves by criticizing negative behavior and reinforcing the positive ones. Fifth is i-challenge natin yung sarili natin na malaman kung ano ang tamang behavior sa mali. I-assess ang inyong sarili kung tama na gawin ko to. Ano kaya magiging epekto? Sixth is challenging defeatist attitudes. Dapat alalahanin na ginagawa mo ang lahat sa kung ano man ang iyong gawin. Yakapin ang pagkakamali at alamin kung ano pa ang nagpipigil sa iyo na gawin ng mga tama. And last is changing our reaction or response patterns. When we learn to identify specific positive or negative behavior, can go about consciously watching out for the cues, actions, or stimuli that trigger them. We can change our response patterns to stress and other triggers. We can correct ourselves consciously and challenge defeatist attitudes. Tama nga naman, kung alam mo ahead yung mga nag-stimulate sa'yo para matrigger na gawin mo mga negative behavior, may iwasan mo ito ng maaga at makaka-prepare ka sa mga actions na gagawin mo at makakorek natin yung sarili natin ahead of time. I will end my presentation with a quote. What is necessary to change a person is to change his awareness of himself by Abraham Maslow. So thank you for listening. Goodbye.